Listen, it's time we talked about this. While it's perfectly human to feel affected by the emotions and stress of life, it's important to understand why setting boundaries between your personal and professional life is important. It must be said, keep your personal life at home and don't bring it to work. One cannot underscore enough the necessity of maintaining the peace of the workplace, free from your personal life drama and intrusions. Good morning. Let's have coffee. Welcome back, everybody, to the weekly podcast coffee session. And man, have I missed recording. It has been a while. It's been busy. It has been so busy. But anyway, let's carry on with the business of the day. So, if you're joining us today, welcome to the weekly podcast coffee session, and where we discuss everything related to work culture, work professional ethics, and and personal development, and maintaining a healthy work-life balance. I'm your host, Toto Yende. Today, we're tackling a topic that many people struggle with: keeping your personal life separate from your work life. How much should you share at work? How do you maintain a balance when things in your personal life start affecting your job? Let's dive in. So, the first part I'd like us to talk about, and we're going to talk about it in sections, right? Why boundaries are important. So this is the first segment. Let's talk about why boundaries are important. We all know that work can be stressful enough, and work is really stressful sometimes, and without bringing in even your personal issues, right? But let's be honest, it can be tough. You're having a bad day, or something serious is happening at home, and that emotional weight follows you into the workplace. While it's perfectly human to feel affected by these things, it's important to understand why setting boundaries between your personal and professional life can actually benefit you and your career. First, let's talk about focus. When your personal issues split into your workday, it can make it hard to concentrate. Your productivity drops. Tasks that should take you about an hour to do could stretch into 2 or 3 hours. This can affect you, but also your colleagues and your team. Ultimately, your company's performance. There is a matter that we need to talk about here, right? There is a matter of professionalism. Most workplaces value a level of decorum. Your colleagues and managers are dependent on you to keep things running smoothly. While showing vulnerability at work can help you build an authentic relationship, oversharing or letting your personal life overshadow your work can paint you as an unreliable or emotionally unstable colleague. So I don't think any of us want to be there. And finally, there's the issues around that we need to talk about, which is mental health. Constantly blending your work and personal life together can lead to a burnout, friends. Work should be a place where we can focus on tasks that are at hand, and sometimes that separation can provide a mental break from what is happening outside of our offices. So that is very important, that we need to find that focus between what's happening in our personal life and what's happening at work. And I've seen a lot of people like to join this whole thing of trying to manage what's happening in the business, and you've taken down through small things that I call, that creep in. This could be managing a WhatsApp group, managing a team via a WhatsApp group, and you guys are constantly talking, even in your personal spaces, right? Well, that is perfectly fine depending on the nature of business, but constantly blending your work and personal life can lead to a burnout. Work should be a place where you can focus and tackle tasks at hand. And sometimes separating your work life and your personal life assists you in finding a mental break, right, from the office and the life outside the office. The next part, segment 2, things that I want to talk about is tips for keeping your personal life and work separate. So, how do we strike this balance? How do you leave your personal life at the door and still feel like the authentic professional you at work? Well, here are a few things that I have found over time have really helped me. And the first one is set clear emotional boundaries. This is probably the most important step. It is essential to make a conscious effort to leave your emotional baggage, or rather emotional stresses, at home. Or at least how much of it you carry of it with you to work. Start your day with a mental checklist. Ask yourself, what am I feeling today? How can I manage it so that it does not interfere with my work? This could mean taking 5 minutes to meditate before entering the office, or doing a quick little exercise that could help you relieve yourself of your personal pressures and stress. And that's probably why some of the people start off at gym, then go to work. It's really down to you. Find a place or something that allows you to create emotional boundaries before you start work. Ask yourself, what am I feeling today? And how can I manage it so that it does not interfere with my work? Number 2, limit personal conversations. This is the easiest way to limit personal conversations. We've all seen that office oversharer, right? That colleagues who talks about their weekend drama or family issues on for half the day. Don't be that person. While it's fine to chat about your life, keep it at the surface level. In the professional settings, we don't want to overshare or indulge. Save the deep conversations for close friends and family. If a colleague asks you about something personal, give them a concise answer and shift the focus back to work. That's pretty much easily what I do. Number 3, use your breaks wisely. If you need to handle something personal, do it during your lunch breaks or during your breaks. Take a walk, call a loved one, or simply take a moment to breathe. This way, you can deal with your emotional stresses without it bleeding into the actual workplace at the time that you're facing it. Number 4, create a routine for transitioning. This one is huge for me, right? Develop a routine that helps you transition from your personal mode to your work mode. I know this is freaky, but yeah, I do this a lot. Maybe it is simply by listening to your favorite music during your commute that gets you hyped up and ready to be in a mindset to go into work. Or perhaps it is you having a mental checklist that you go through before you step into the office. The key is to create clear distinguishment in your mind between work and home. This is it's been a while, right? This is some good coffee session talks we're having here. Segment 3, friends, we're going to be covering navigating your personal emergencies at work. Of course, there are times when personal emergencies are unavoidable. And in those moments, it is unrealistic, even by my standards, to expect anybody to fully compactualize their experience. But there are ways to handle situations in a much more professional manner. Number 1, know when to inform your manager. If there is something serious happening in your life, such as a personal illness or any other personal crisis, it is okay. Let me say it again. It is okay to let your manager know. The key is to be clear about what you need. Whether it's time off, or a more flexible schedule, or simply them understanding what's happening in your life while you are going through it at work, or while you work through it. So, what do you want to avoid? What we want to avoid is letting the issue affect your work performance without explanation. It's okay to talk to your manager. Number 2, maintain professionalism. Even if you're dealing with something tough, try to maintain as much professionalism as you can. This means not venting to co-workers about your personal problems or allowing the situation to influence you and the decisions you make and how you interact with others. It's okay, friends. We understand. We are all human. But maintaining composure will go a long way in preserving your reputation. Number 3, take the time off that you need. Take the time off that you need. One of the jokes that we share in our organization, we say, we're no longer in school now, colleagues. We don't need to bunk leave for December. Right? Use your leave, friends. Don't be afraid to take the time off if you need that personal time where you feel like you're being overwhelmed. It is better to take a mental health day or 2 than to force yourself through work when you know you're not in the right headspace. And I always tell my team, tell me. If you know you can't do it, I'll tell you if my priorities cannot really, as a business, meet you halfway. But if you tell me that you can't deliver, most chances, a lot of managers will let you take that day. Most companies even are more understanding than you think, friends, when it comes to these type of situations, especially when they know that we can handle it and they can also handle it in a proactive type of manner. Not show up on a Monday morning and then I can't come to work. No. Take us through what's happening. So, the key is balance. And if you want to understand more about this work-life balance, I have a podcast. The link should be showing up in any moment now at the top. That's talk about balance between the workplace and your life and how we can create balance. Please follow up on that show. There are a lot of useful tips that we have there. So, to wrap up things, remember that maintaining clear boundaries between your personal life and your work life is essential for both your productivity and your mental well-being. That doesn't mean that you need to shut down or hide who you are. It's just being mindful of how much of your personal life you're bringing into the office. The key takeaways, friends, that we've had in this coffee session is all about balance. By setting emotional boundaries, staying professional, and knowing when to seek help, you'll be able to manage both your personal and work life effectively. We are living in very challenging times, pressured in the workplace and stressed out at home, people are trying to make sense of even their own lives today. And I want you, friends, to understand that it's okay not to be okay. Thanks for tuning in to the weekly podcast coffee session. If you found this episode really helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your colleagues so that we can spread this beautiful gospel from the coffee session, or the gospel of Toto in terms of the workplace. And if you believe that people really need to hear this, please share. I encourage you, share. Until next time, stay balanced and keep thriving. Good morning. Let's have coffee.